Hello and welcome back to the WhiskAYE Podcast, episode number 20. That's us getting into the big boy figures. This is a sort of fortunately following on our 20th episode. We've got kind of a special edition because we've actually previously drank all of the whiskies that we're trying today. It's still a Dram Team box, but we participated in a Dram Team online tasting during, well, not lockdown, but tier 4 or whatever, tier 3, depending where you are in the UK. They have been streaming online tastings with Nonsense Whisky, I think it is.
It is.
Yeah. And I believe we might have mentioned this on a previous podcast. But now we're going to do a slightly different mix on it, where we're going to revisit the 5 normal drams and jump into the 6th dram and discuss what we remember. Unfortunately, you only get 10 mils. It's very hard to do a tasting on 10 mils anyway, so we didn't want to split into 2 5s and really just defeat the purpose, especially being that this is a very special box. I believe it's the most expensive box the dram. Well, it's always cost the same for Dram Team subscribers, but I believe the whiskies involved in this box combined price is the most expensive Dram Team box that there's been. I think it's definitely up there for anything that we've seen. They might have had ones before, but I think they're probably likely to have been cheaper to begin at the very, very start, because that's not a slight. It's just as a new company, it's harder to source product to sell.
Like 5 minutes in, already slagging them off.
No. But we're going to sort of, I think, run it in the same format that we would to an extent, where we'll read the card from the box and then we'll go through the whiskies one after the other, discuss them, taste the second half of the dram that we have left over, and then but we'll add a little bit where we compare to our previous notes and see if we noticed anything different, or if we were maybe led by the format of the online tasting.
Because it was a tasting. Yeah, and we had like Vin and Chris, who were a lot better at this than us, kind of picking things out, and that maybe, like you say, that kind of led us. So I've got the comments. Well, I've got the page open, but I can't see the comments. So I guess what we can do is, if we taste them, we put down as honest comments now, and then I have a look at what it says.
Yes.
Do we want to do that either per one? So we do one, then we look at the comments, or do we want to do all 5 and then look at the comments and compare?
Perhaps, since we're not going to have a section for the 6th dram, it makes more sense for us to do the 5, then do the review.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'd be a good reveal at the end.
And we have thought about this before we did it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it'd be a good reveal at the end.
Yes. And another thing is that, I mean, we were involved in the chat and talking with Chris and Vin. So if any of you are from that tasting and you came over, you subscribed, on their recommendations, then thanks. But also sorry for going over a box that you've already seen people who are probably better at it than us talk about.
Well, including themselves.
Yeah. Okay,
do you want to... We may as well get into the first one then.
So the title card for this is Whiskey and Wood. And it reads, in this premium edition box, we explore 6 special scotches that showcase the wonderful and diverse relationship between whiskey and wood. A scintillating array of cask types and maturation methods awaits, guaranteeing your taste buds an extraordinary treat. Slange.
So do you want me to just launch straight into the first one?
Yeah, we might as well launch straight into the first.
Okay. So the first one is the first of a pair from Whiskey Works, and it's called Quartermaster 11-Year-Old. So the spiel goes: Highland grain whiskey is matured in Caribbean ex-rum barrels before a finish in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. At the same time, 2 Speyside malts are each aged in American white oak and Spanish sherry butts. Finally, all the whiskies are married together to create this unique transatlantic cask-driven blend. Got that? Phew. The whiskey work do keep us on our toes. Enjoy. So On the nose, you should be getting fruity, ripe, rum-steeped peaches with notes of ground ginger and coffee. So how are you finding it on the nose?
But definitely has a strong scent of like dried fruits and spices. Not obviously as esteemed as those at the Whiskey Works and working out what those spices are or fruits are, but
I get they are kind of rum flavour smells.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, and like they've been soaked in alcohol.
Yeah, much like us over there.
Yeah, much like my kidneys. Yeah, okay, I'll let you dive in and I'll tell you what you should be tasting them.
Okay.
Nutty and earthy almonds balanced with notes of sweet dried dates, raisins, and orange peel. So what you'd expect from a kind of rum cask finish almost. So what do you get from that, other than pears, presumably? Sorry, orchard fruits.
It is I like the note that the earthy almonds. I don't know if it's so much nutty, but there is a
There is an earthiness to it. Yeah.
Oiliness maybe to it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely oily. This one, it's quite a wide one, isn't it? As we'd say, a wide mouthfeel one.
Yeah, and it definitely is sweet though. There's a lot of sort of dried fruits. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like light, high. Just to say it's heavy as a liquid. It's light as a flavour, if that makes sense.
It's not like Christmas cakey.
No, it's not like
the raisins or dates maybe.
It's like it's one step down from that. So it's got the sherry flavours, but not the sherry weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a very nice dram though.
That is very nice. So yeah, we do get. So we got rum accents. I don't know. Always check out that. Do you like that?
What?
Rum accents on the nose with dried fruits, dried fruit flavors.
This is the part of the podcast where we need to employ someone to type for us.
Or you could just talk over it, and I'll get quite a. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you think about how much time we spend actually tasting compared to how much time we spend talking after the tasting, and then we watch others taste, they take a lot. We're just like gulping it down, and they're like, "Oh, this." Like 10 minutes later, they're still looking at it.
I wouldn't say gulping it down, but I would also say that it's not an infinite amount of time. It's a podcast, so sitting looking at it isn't really the aim.
Well, when we get when they invent the camera and we can get pictures onto the internet,
then we can spend more time ruminating over the colour.
Yeah.
Arguing with people over whether it's chill filtered or not and such like.
Yeah. If it tastes nice, it tastes nice. What do you give that then? What would you like to score that?
This is where it'll be interesting to see what our scores compare like. But I think that was definitely a solid 4.
I'll give that a 4, yeah.
Yeah. It's got everything we like, so it's not surprising. I actually probably would say that compared to some like what would you call them, sherry beasts, I suppose, I would maybe prefer it on this side where it's slightly lighter. More so because it just means that it's easier to drink. So,
Yeah, it depends what you're after, doesn't it? Because like
as an experience,
if you just have to
sherry beasts are.
Yeah, if you just have one dram, you want one drink for the night, a single. Yeah. There's no wrong with a sherry. Well, I love a sherry monster.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting a couple, sherry monsters are probably it's the same as anything that's really rich,
Yeah.
Any kind of really rich food or drink is really nice in moderation.
Yes.
But you're not going to be wanting to carry on for the whole evening.
Agreed.
So yeah, they've all got the place except Glenkeith. That one.
Yeah. Which we've decided was Berry Bros and Rod's fault. So.
Yeah, who do we want to upset? Like
I
a
mean,
massive
probably
bottler
would
or a
rather
massive
upset one
distillery?
distillery than a massive.
Like one of the oldest bottlers, independent
Yeah.
bottlers in the world.
But
a smaller distillery is more likely to notice us. So
true.
Shout out to Glenkeith.
Yeah. So we're both saying a 4. Any other comments?
I don't have. I've just put rum accents on the nose with dried fruits. Dried fruit flavors continue on the palate. Heavy liquid, but light in the mouth.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay, so I suppose we can swiftly move on to the next one. I say swiftly as if we haven't been talking for 5-10 minutes on this already.
Professionally.
Yeah. Up next, we're going with again from the Whiskey Works, but this time King of Trees. So the Whiskey Works is an experimental, innovation-led arm of revered whiskey blenders White and Mackay. The King of Trees, one of their first releases, employs a rare maturation process. Scottish oak is rarely used in barrel making, as it doesn't often yield knot-free staves. The Scottish oak that was used for this whiskey comes from comes from wind-felled trees over 2 centuries old. What a cool way to make a cask. It's quite interesting because obviously I assume it's because you need old oak to be able to get away from where the knots would be on the outside from branches.
Yeah, it's got to be quite a mighty oak, I suppose.
Yeah. And then I think possibly there may be restrictions on cutting down old trees. But,
as there should be.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. So I'll dive into the nose and you can have a sniff, I suppose.
I've got my nose in it already, so what should I smell?
It says that you should be getting crisp pear and ripe banana with subtle layers of vanilla and toasty oak, which accentuate the fruit notes.
There's certainly some banana in there.
Not plantain.
I don't think I've ever smelled or eaten plantain, but if you want, we can.
Sure it's just
we can just convert that. We'll put that into as whiskey comment converter. See, banana goes in, plantain comes out, apple goes in, orchard fruit comes out, that kind of stuff. We ought to release a guidebook.
How to bluff your way.
Yeah.
A whiskey taster's guide.
Well, it'd work for wine or anything, wouldn't it? Probably even better with wine because they're all fancy. I think whiskey tasting, you go and if you're like, oh, it tastes like whiskey, everyone's like, ha, and you get a good laugh.
Yeah.
Wine, they'd probably kick you out.
Yeah. Tastes like a red.
I think the only way you could get kicked out of a distillery is if you brought your own Coke.
Yeah. And even then, I think some of them would be like, all right, well, whatever you want, mate. But...
Yeah. So, can you imagine doing that like on the Macallan tour or whatever?
Well, like Lagavulin. It doesn't even taste nice with Coke.
Yeah, it's a bit peated, this. You got any non-peated?
Yeah.
There is like a toasted wood in there.
Yeah, it's kind of, like a little bit, not burnt, but...
No, charred.
Yeah, singed, maybe.
Yeah, singed.
Like when you're first starting a fire and the wood starts to take, not like smoky, but like...
Like when it's glowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But
I like singed.
I'm not... I have to say, there's a fruitiness to it, but again, I can't really... I'm not even getting, like... I suppose that's the thing when they say there's pear and banana in it. It's kind of like this... It's fruity, but I can't really... I'm not refined enough to pinpoint the fruit.
Yeah, it's weird, because I do get banana from this.
I suppose it's... on the nose, I don't know, maybe give me a second to know.
You can get those kits, can't you?
What was that?
You can get those kits that have got like 100 different smell bottles in them.
Oh yeah, so that we can like learn smells.
They're like £100 from Master Malt, but
when I've taken it away and let my nose rest, and it's definitely more banana-y than the sharpness of an apple or a pear.
Need to get like some coffee beans as well. Don't need to reset your nose.
Well, I smelled my finger. Oh.
Okay.
It's the same as smelling your palm. It was just it's hard to get your palm to your face when you've got a microphone over your mouth.
Fair point.
So.
It's loads of poppy noise. Right, I'm going to dive in. What am I tasting?
You should be tasting homemade apple pie with a light dusting of cinnamon, patisserie sugar, and delicate floral notes. So, sounds pretty nice to me.
I do get that kind of like pastry, kind of sweet pastry, bit of fruit. I'm not sure I get cinnamon, but I do get, there's definitely a kind of baked goods, a baked pie taste to it.
Like a turnover, kind of, like an apple turnover.
Yeah, like when you get pastry and it's kind of soggy on the bottom from whatever's in, but still a bit crispy on. Yeah.
That's why I was thinking of a turnover, really.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it. Definitely like a sprinkling of sugar on the top.
It's kind of if you were about to say custard, because it has a custardiness to me.
It does have a custardiness. Yeah, I wonder if that's the vanilla that.
Yeah, that will be.
Yeah, that's on the nose though, rather than the palate.
Yeah,
but I think
your nose leaves your mouth.
So we're going to say apple turnover and custard. I'm happy with that. Custard flavors.
Seeing if I can find these floral notes. I've got a tiny little bit left. So.
What do you think they mean by floral notes? What would you think from floral notes? What kind of flavors would you be looking for?
Perfumey.
Okay, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've literally eaten a rose once, like on a dare when I was 15.
Maybe you ate some flowers in a pub as well, didn't you?
No, that was Rob, because I told him that roses just taste like fancy lettuce.
Fancy lettuce.
It's literally the truth. Petals. I mean, sometimes when you get a fancy salad, you get flower petals on it. They just taste like leafy greens. Mostly because that's 90% of the same makeup.
Do you get the fancy lettuce flavors there then, or are we just sticking with apple turnover and custard flavors?
I'm going to stick with the apple turnovers and custard. Not getting the cinnamon at all, though.
No, I don't get any cinnamon. I don't really get that warmth that I'd expect.
Mind you, in the context of an apple pie, cinnamon is often one of the big ingredients because
it is, but it kind of blends with the apple flavor. It doesn't stand out.
Yeah, so maybe to make it a tasting though, I would assume that it would be.
I was looking for that warmth.
Front forward, yeah.
Because I always think I think we talked about it before. You've got 3 levels of warmth in whiskey. You've got cinnamon, which is like it's kind of warming. You've got ginger, which is it's getting a little bit spicy now, and then or clove, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you've got like when they call it spicy. Yeah. That's when it's like that's kind of wakes you up a little bit, and I think cinnamon. Yeah. That's what I look for when you say that kind of stuff. What would you like to score that one?
I think I'm again in the 4.
I'm in the 4. I don't think we gave him. I haven't looked, but I can't remember giving him 4s. But that was really nice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like we haven't had a whiskey in a while, so.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
absence made the heart grow fonder.
It's been since I had just a whiskey. It's been about at least a week and a half, I would say. So.
I had a whiskey last week. Yeah. I had
just so people know that we're not fully alcoholics.
Yeah. Well, it was the first week back at work for me, so it's going to happen. I had a Glenfiddich IPA.
Oh, nice.
That's
a solid, affordable dram.
Yeah, I thought I'd go back to one of the old originals, that started us on this. It was very nice still, even after all the whiskies.
I don't believe we discussed. I think we were before Christmas when we recorded the last one. So I got 3 whiskies for my Christmas. So haven't even really been into them. So
yeah, you got some nice ones.
Yeah, got a Cardew. I can't remember.
I didn't know about the Cardew.
Yeah, that was from my mum, advised by my brother.
I
think it was sherry finish. I got
Sounds
the wine.
Nice.
I got
Chateau
wood
Cisac.
finish Chateau Cisac, which is, as we know, one of my favourite whiskies.
It's a good one.
And I got a double wood, so plenty
Can't
of
go wrong
whiskey to go around.
Yeah, they're all pretty good by the sounds of it. Well, 2 of them I know are good, and the Cardew, I think we've had Cardew and I've liked it before, so
yeah.
I think you started there, yeah.
Yeah, if you got your Christmas presents yet, or are you still?
No, we're waiting until we can see each other.
Seems like a reasonable response.
That or they're just not going to buy me anything. One of the two.
They'll be like, well, it's your birthday now, so this is your birthday present.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. I'm sure I'll get something. I'll just tell them that what I want. Do you want to go on to number 3?
Yeah.
Rather than me feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah. Moving away from the Whiskey Works, we're onto a Tam Navulin now. Sherry Cask
turn?
Edition.
Oh, your turn. Sorry.
Actually, it might be yours.
I can't remember. No, I just couldn't remember.
Meant 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, I'll whatever. I'll go for this one. Why not? So as we just heard, one of my thunder was just being stolen. Then the third one is Tam Navulin Sherry Cask Edition. Tam Navulin, meaning mill on the hill in Gaelic, so you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I like to burn them down.
Yeah. Lies deep in the heart of Speyside and is named for the carding mill that still sits on the distillery site. This edition has been aged mostly in American oak barrels with finishes in 3 different sherry casks. So this has got a bit more extensive tasting notes as well.
So we're talking three sherry casks.
Yes.
PX, Oloroso.
Those are the common 2, but there's Moscatel is one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
They do it in. There's another one as well. There's a few, I think, actually, but Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez are the main 2. So on the nose, a bouquet marked by freshly baked tart tatin and vanilla pod, soon giving way to another level of charm as nuances of banana, caramelized orange, and fresh ginger complete this tapestry of temptation. Every time I think we're getting good at tasting notes, they one-uppers. Mm-hmm. It's like a nice kind of warming smell, that.
I think it has it smells like...
Right, sweet.
You know when you go to the Chinese and you want a dessert and there's only 2 options?
Like fritters.
Pineapple fritters or banana fritters. This smells like banana fritters to me with the syrup.
Yeah, I could go for again, it's got that kind of baked goods kind of sweetness.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's like banana-y, but it smells cooked.
Yeah, there's definitely some kind of cooked pastry in there.
Yeah.
Or batter.
Right, batter, yeah. But on those sort of... That'll be the freshly baked tart tatin with the...
I don't even know what's in
vanilla.
Tart tatin, to be honest. I mean, it's a tart, so I'm guessing it's pastry, but...
Vanilla, and then the banana and the caramel and all that.
Go with pastry / banana fritters. I'll give you that. On the nose, vanilla. Also. Okay, so I'll let you dive in. You should be tasting on the palate. It should be warm and inviting. The palate detects an avalanche of exotic flavors. Glazed nectarines and frangipane, shortly enlightened by hints of sticky toffee pudding, demerara sugar, and Seville oranges. And the finish is complex and rich, fruitcake over ripe apricots. So lots of fancy ways of saying sherry flavours.
It's very nice.
Sherried whiskey flavours.
I know that's not a tasting note, but it has sort of...
Well, it's got nothing to it in terms of alcohol burn, has it?
No, it's smooth and it tastes very nice. You could get very drunk on this by accident.
Yeah, this is dangerously easy drinking.
I would definitely say has kind of... I don't know if the pastriness carries through.
No, it's a bit too sweet for that. I think it loses that grounding.
It's almost toffee.
Yeah, I could go with sticky toffee pudding, like they say. I could definitely go with that. But more caramel than toffee. Yeah. Toffee pudding's almost a bit too salty. Or
it's
deep. It's a bit too deep. This is very light, very sweet.
Syrupy, caramelly.
Yeah, caramel / syrup on the palate. Sweet. And there
is a little bit of fruitiness to it,
yeah.
I wouldn't say apricot, but I'm not sure I know what dried apricots taste like. So
no, I wouldn't get apricot from that. It's dangerously easy drinking.
Again, I would say dates is probably...
Yeah, dates is not bad.
Lends itself to sticky toffee pudding or Christmassy cake. It's flavoured from cherry, and it's very obvious.
That's very nice. That is very nice. They've all been very nice.
Yeah. I'm willing to probably go to 4.5 on that.
4.5?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I really like that as well, but I think I'm going to stick to a 4. I really like it, but I don't know if I like it
like
more.
whiskies that I can just... Sorry, we're talking over each other.
No, I'll let you go. Sorry, that was very rude.
I've realised I quite like whiskies I could just drink, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like we were saying earlier, you don't always need a super complicated. Although this is pretty complicated, you don't need a super heavy one.
I don't mind a super complicated one, once or twice in an evening, but
yeah,
for that instance, I had to be drinking different whiskies.
These are all been really easy to drink, but that was the easiest. But yeah, they've all been equally brilliant so far in my mind.
Yes. Well, that's also possibly fair. 4 may be fair. 4.5 maybe boisterous, but we'll see.
Yeah, if that's what you feel. That's what you feel.
Yeah, I feel like also we'll see at the end, but it's very possible that the numbers can change just depending on how you're feeling in the moment.
Yeah, true. Okay, number 4.
The number 4.
Yep, this one actually is yours.
Yeah, I'll read this one then. Yeah,
that's kind.
So we'll switch it back now to one of the other. So we had 2 whiskey works, then we had the Tamnavulin, and then just to steal some Oreo thunder, the next 2 are going to be from the Isle of Jura. The first one, which is my pleasure to introduce, is the aged 12 years, which I'm not sure. I think Jura changed their marketing because they used to have 4 named ones. It was like Tempest and
Superstition.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now they have a age statement.
Yeah.
I think they still have one of the old range.
I think it might be like the expensive one.
Yeah, but anyway, the island of Jura sits just to the northeast of Islay, and its whiskies are often overshadowed by its famous peat-driven neighbour. The Isle of Jura distillery has existed in its current form since the 60s and produces lightly peated and unpeated whiskies in their very tall neck stills. The 12-year-old is the place to start when exploring the range with its delicate smoke and sherry sweetness. So on the nose, you should be getting refined, succulent, tropical aromas of chocolate, walnut, and citrus fruit.
Yeah, I can get citrus fruit. I don't get chocolate or walnut. I don't know if walnuts smell of anything.
Bitter. That's the flavour more than anything. Though.
Yeah, I can say I feel like nuts mainly taste rather than smell.
Like nutty is a smell. But I wouldn't say I would attribute it to any one nut.
Yeah.
Like if you gave me hazelnuts in one hand and walnuts in the other, I'd probably struggle a lot to tell you which was which.
Yeah. Like nut fanatics out there are going to be shouting for his hides now.
Listening to the wrong podcast. You should be listening to Nut Eye.
It's just the pun that keeps on giving.
Well, in various areas of Scotland, nut does just mean no. So
you've got to be careful because those guys are good at roasting.
Yeah, true. This
is why people come to our podcast. The jokes, high quality jokes.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for the jokes, the substance would be. I mean, we're very good, very professional.
Very good.
What we're talking about.
I'm pretty sure if you asked Jim Murray, he'd say, "Yeah, if I was going to start my whiskey adventure, I'd be listening to the WhiskAYE guys." If he'd ever heard of us.
Or if he listened to podcasts or cared enough to. I mean, have you seen how many whiskies he has to drink in a year? The guy's constantly out of it.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
He must have a problem with like a sliding scale of his scores.
I was going to say we should try it. I was going to say we could try and bribe him, but we could just like sidle up to him at some point with a burger, and that'd probably be.
Yeah, like, oh, thanks, guys.
so drunk, just like, oh, you're the best. It's like, can I quote you on that?
Yeah, I'm getting
Citrus,
there is
yeah.
a sort of nuttiness to this.
I'm not getting any nuttiness, I must admit.
It smells a little bit. I feel like it smells a little bit like furniture.
Well, you use walnut oil on furniture, don't you?
Maybe.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe a kind of a woodiness. I could give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
There's kind of citrus to begin with, and then if you let it settle, the woodiness comes through.
yeah.
Citrus on the nose initially, with woodiness coming through. Woodiness is a word. Okay, I'm going in.
And then, well, you should be tasting on the palate. Flavors of honey, salted bananas, and brown sugar with a whisper of smoke. So.
Very, very, very light smoke. Very, very light right at the end. It is quite salty. Don't know if I get
very savoury dram.
Yeah, savoury is probably a better word. That's
There's
what another
pinch.
one of those ones in the table, isn't it?
There's a pinch of there is. It's very, very, very light smoke. Like
yeah, incredible.
Almost like they've accidentally got some of the smoke from being in the proximity of Isla rather than actually going for it themselves.
Infiltrated through the barrels, yeah.
Yeah. But it's nice again.
It is nice.
But yeah, this one's definitely more on the savoury side.
Yeah. Savoury dram.
I wouldn't say I'm getting anything banana-y or honey-ish. I mean, they're talking about honey, bananas, and brown sugar here, but I'm more about, I would say it's closer to...
It's like salted caramel kind of flavours.
Yeah. I'm going to get the last little dribble and see if I can come up with anything inspired to say about it.
Okay, so what I've said is citrus on the nose initially with woodiness coming through, a savoury dram, salted caramel flavours with very, very light smoke at the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got.
Yeah.
Not that it's quite complex, but...
We only can pick out like 2 or 3 things from whiskies. We've got to keep practicing.
There is probably some kind of fruit in there, but it's heavily overpowered for me anyway by the savoury.
That's why we need to start getting like full bottles of each one in the Dram Team.
If you're listening.
Yeah.
How much would this box have cost us? A couple of £100.
Yeah. Subscribe to us Patreon.
Yeah.
You won't have to subscribe to us for long.
I don't think Patreon's going to cut it. We need an OnlyFans.
Just like what? Just drinking whiskey with like your shirt off.
Yeah. When you see the video, when we finally get webcams involved, you'll know that that's a worthwhile purchase, obviously.
Or maybe we could threaten. If you don't do it, we'll start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That could be it. We could have cracked it there.
Yeah.
Scores for this one. What would you like to give that one?
I think that one I'm gonna say 3.5.
I'd say 3.5 for that one. And I think that one could have been a 4 in a less powerful
in a less
box.
stacked box. It would get a 4.
Yeah.
But when it's, following that Tam the Villain for me has probably hurt it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Well, that's just the nature of it, isn't it?
Well, the reason we wanted to do this was, first off, we're not certain we're drinking these in the same order we did. I'm almost certain we aren't. But the other thing is that we wanted to see what just coming back and drinking some whiskey that you've had before and actually written something down about, whether you say the same thing about it the second time round. So this will be interesting. It's a revelation for us and you. You may never hear it if we just make ourselves look like total fools.
Yeah, if they're all completely different, it's like, oh no, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
They're all perfectly matching.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I introduce us to our 5th and final dram of the week?
Yes.
As you say, we don't have any of the 6. We will talk about it, But we don't have any to taste because we drank it all last time because there's only 10 mils.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, as you said earlier, it's another Jura. This one's 21-year-old and it's called Tide. Jura's Tide and Time series explores two factors that make their whiskey special. Tide, in the form of their rugged coastal location, and time. The Tide edition is aged for 21 long years, or around 14,800 tides, in American white oak ex-bourbon barrels to let the character of the rich spirits shine, before a brief finishing spell spent in virgin oak. And this kind of proves what we're saying about this being like a premium, high-cost box. This was only the fifth. This wasn't the special Dram, and it's 21 years old.
Yeah. And I believe it's not even remotely cheap.
No. So on the nose, you should be getting creamy caramel, sweet fruit, and ginger biscuits. So
I do get some kind of gingery
warmth.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a lot more smoke in this.
I'm not getting the smoke at all.
I'm getting a bit, a little bit of smoke. Like there's not a lot of smoke, but compared to the last one, I was meaning.
Yeah. There's a very sort of it's the caramelly flavor that I'm getting.
There's kind of that caramelized sugar in there.
A bit of a broken record saying that.
It's like it's not like sugar though. It's like caramelized sugar in it. It's got that kind of deepness to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put caramelized sugar on the nose, and if you want to dive in for a taste, you should be getting macaroon, gingerbread, frangipane, and white chocolate. So lots of baked goods.
I distinctly remember the first time. This has a sort of coconut milk quality to it in the background.
Yeah, that's kind of ringing a vague bell.
It may not be this whiskey, but I remember this one. I'm not getting as strong. There is a coconut flavour, that the macaroon flavour is there, but it does.
Yeah, I could give, like, right towards the end, as the alcohol burn dies off, there's definitely something there. Like a chalkiness or a coconutiness. That kind of, like, flat flavour.
Yeah. We've discussed flat flavour before.
But
I feel like we've discussed it in the podcast, which is why I think it wasn't this whiskey. It does have a little bit of a burn.
There's definitely ginger in there, gingerbread. I'd give it that. I'd definitely give it gingerbread.
Slightly spicy, but not like super spicy.
Yeah, I kind of get what they mean by white chocolate, like the sweetness, like milky kind of sweetness.
Maybe even, have you had that pink chocolate?
That what?
It's like the third type of chocolate they've managed to make from a cocoa bean.
No, I haven't.
It's kind of fruitier. It's really nice. If you can get it, I think Thornton's do it. Not that they'll be open, but it's ruby chocolate. I think it's called.
Ruby chocolate.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Why not? We'll say ruby chocolate.
Introduced in 2017.
We'll say gingerbread, ruby chocolate, because that makes it sound
Fourth type.
Fancy.
Dark milking.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah. That makes it sound fancy. So, gingerbread, ruby chocolate, and light coconut at the end.
I googled the price, by the way, and it's over £100 for a bottle. So.
Yeah, it's expensive stuff.
Currently trading it between 120 and 170.
Wow. We got
that's
35.
a fifth bottle, not the sixth Dram, which I think was upwards quite substantially of that price.
I think it was. That's nice. It's nice and warming. What would you like to give our final one then, score-wise?
I think that's probably worthy of a 3.5 as well.
I was going to say, if there was anything that was going to go for a 3.75, that'd be it.
Yeah.
But as it is, 3.5. Okay, so we've gone through the 5 that we had, 3 tastings of. I'm going to move up on the sheet so I can only see one row at a time so it doesn't spoil it all for me.
Yeah.
Let me just line it up. It's been a pain. It's giving me half rows. I don't know why. Give me a second. I can fix this.
Excel for you, Microsoft. That's Bill Gates. You didn't let him put the chip in yet.
Yeah. Well, I can't. You can't improve Flight Simulator without me.
Yeah.
I'm on to it. Right. Okay. So the first one, the Whiskey Works Quartermaster, we really liked, and this time round we both gave it a 4.
Yes.
Okay. What do you reckon we gave it last time? Do you reckon we were accurate?
I'd like to say we gave it a 4, but I feel like that means we didn't give it a 4.
We were spot on. We gave it 2 4s.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
it shows you that we have some kind of consistency
one
in our scoring.
1 out of 5. We gave it 2 4s. So that's 1 out of 5. We were spot on with. And the comments this time were rum accents on the nose with dried fruits. Dried fruit flavours continue on the palate. Heavy liquid, light in the mouth. And the comments
sounds almost identical to what we said.
No, that was the comments we wrote today.
Oh.
The comments we put last time was very sweet on the nose, which belies the meaty, savoury taste, lingering salty finish. So.
Oh, lingering salty finish.
Yeah, I think when we put meaty taste, we were going for that heavy liquid.
Yeah.
Dried fruit, yeah, it's sweet on the nose. Yeah. Didn't quite get the lingering salty finish.
No, we didn't get that.
But 4 and a 4, that's pretty good.
Yeah, our scores seems like from 1 out of 5, we know what we like.
From 1 out of 5, okay. The second one we drank today was the Whiskey Works King of Trees 10-year-old. And again, both really liked it, both gave it a 4. So hopefully we were on. Oh, no, there's a difference. That one we gave 3.5. So we're not far off.
Yeah.
We're not far off.
I can see how that would have happened, but...
Yes, and so today's comments were banana and singed wood on the nose, apple turnover and custard flavours. And last time's comments, banana and orchard fruits on the nose. So, yep. Quite spicy to begin, fades to warming. I guess that gives us the kind of turnovery cinnamoniness.
Yeah.
Zesty and slightly salty. Yeah. Yeah, we're similar. We're in the ballpark with his comments. We're not as close as we'd probably like to be, but
I think this is an element of the fact that one
was guided.
Requires you to drink, and 2, you're going to be on different days. You're going to have a different experience, essentially.
Yeah, and 1 was guided, so we were hearing things.
We would have probably struggled to get away from noticing flavors that someone tells us.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find that with the cards, and that's why I enjoy it when we do these and we disagree with the cards, purely because I like to be contrary.
Maybe we should look at doing tastings similar to this from now on. So before we read the cards, the tastings, we just go in and say what we get, and then we read the card.
We can discuss this off.
One of our regular business meetings. Okay.
I would want to probably read the intro bit, but not the tasting bit. But yeah, we can.
Yeah, what Chris should do is in his cards, he should have like a little peel off bit on the bottom.
Yeah.
Just increases production costs.
Wait, that's copyright.
Oh, we copyrighted that idea. Yeah. It just increases production costs by like whatever percentage for no reason.
For a minor improvement in.
It could be the WhiskAYE edition of his boxes.
Yeah, we're not paying for the extra.
yeah, you can pay us. So the third whiskey of the week, or the month, or the 2 weeks, or however often we're uploading at the moment, was a Tam Navul in Sherry Cask edition. Yep. I gave it a 4. You gave it a 4.5 this week, and last time it was 2 3.5s.
Oh, I really enjoyed that this time, but
I did.
I think that was near the start last time.
I think it might have been the first one last time.
Yeah, and I think that might have hurt it.
Yeah. So this time we put pastry/banana fritters on the nose with vanilla, caramel syrup on the palate, sweet with light fruitiness, dangerously
Definitely
easy
did
drinking.
banana fruit.
And last time we put caramel vanilla on the nose. That's pretty good. Sweet and soft cherry flavors. We definitely got that. That it was like a sherry one, but one step down.
Yeah.
Mildly spiced. Yeah. And sharp finish. Yeah. So I think we were pretty accurate with that one. The scars were a bit high
more this time.
but as I think the whole light sherry and everything we were spot on with. So quite happy with that one.
Yeah.
The fourth whiskey was the Jura, aged 12 years, and we both gave that a 3.5 with citrus on the nose initially. Oh, sorry, I'll compare the scores. We both gave it 3.5, getting ahead of myself. And last time I gave it a 3 and you gave it a 3.5. So pretty solid close.
Yeah, that one was closer, not a 4.5 to a 3.5. But yeah.
No, but we've been within I think I've
One.
been within 0.5 every time.
Yeah. That last one though, I don't know, maybe
It was just the right
had
whiskey.
more of a savoury tooth today.
Yeah. Like we were saying, it's the right whiskey for the right time, isn't
it?
Yeah. So yeah, I gave it a 3.5 a 3 last time. You gave it 3.5, and so yours matches and mine has increased by 0.5. So well done, Joe. You're doing something right.
By doing nothing, you've improved your score.
So we put citrus on the nose initially with woodiness coming through, a savoury dram, salted caramel flavours with very, very light smoke at the end. And last time we put fruits and nuts on the nose instead of citrus, fruits, and woodiness and nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Quite clean, fresh, with very mild peat and salt, abrupt finish.
Yep.
And we put savoury, salt caramel, very, very light smoke. So yeah, we've put salt and peat, and we've put savoury and peat.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I mean, don't like to pat myself on the back, but
We're doing better than I expected.
yes.
And the last one of the 5 we had again, we gave them both a 3.5. The Jura, aged 21 years, tied. Both gave it a 3.5. And last time, you gave it a 4, and I gave it a 3.5.
So when we said if there's anything that could be a 3.75,
yeah, I mean that's a bit spooky.
Yeah.
And we said this time caramelized sugar on the nose, gingerbread, ruby chocolate, and light coconut. And last time we put we put savory spiciness on the nose, caramelized sugar on the nose. Yeah, similar. Yeah. Super savory with a bit of ginger spice to begin, then nuttiness to finish. Ginger. We didn't get the ruby chocolate last time, but I don't think we knew it existed last time. Yeah. And light coconut at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I suppose that leads us to look back to the Dalmore King Alexander, which we didn't drink this time.
Yeah, so it's the card spiel.
Yeah, I'll give the card spiel and you can say what we thought at the time.
Okay.
The Dalmore King Alexander III is another whiskey that combines an astounding array of cask maturations to create a luxurious and complex dram. Many different casks make up this very special single malt, including Oloroso Sherry, Marsala, Madeira, Cabernet Sauvignon, and port pipes. A rare treat indeed for us to be able to showcase it as our 6th dram, one of the most premium bottles we've ever featured. It has on the nose red berry fruits and hints of passion fruit. On the palate, citrus zest, vanilla pod, creme caramel, and crushed almonds. And to finish, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger.
So we said vanilla and spice on the nose, heavy and oily, wide sherry mouthfeel, citrus zest permeates. And we gave it 2 3.5s.
All right, yeah, I believe that we both said that there's a possibility that on any other given box that would have been a 4, but there was so many good whiskies in this box that it kind of raised the bar for the other things.
I feel like maybe what we should say with the scars is that they're an average over the box.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's like this when we haven't had any in a while.
Yeah.
So, if the box is mainly 4s, it's that this is a really strong box. If it's the mainly 3.5s, this is a strong box.
Yeah.
It's not.
You'd definitely be happy to keep your money in it.
Yeah. Very good. Yes. So, but I remember at the time when we were asked, we said the Quartermaster was his favourite.
Yeah.
And
I
think that was echoed by quite a few people on the stream.
Yes.
I think quite a few liked the Quartermaster.
I believe that's my recollection of it too. I mean, I think some people quite liked the Juras, but I imagine they were smokeheads who were.
Is that what we call them, smokeheads?
Well, that's the name of a whiskey, isn't it? So.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's like mods and rockers.
Yeah.
Space-siders and smokeheads.
Yeah. Christmas cakers and smokeheads.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that was a really, really interesting way of doing it because, it turns out that we weren't that far off.
Yeah.
And maybe that says something that our scoring system has not got enough fidelity to it. It's difficult to be more than 1 point off when you've got a 5-point scoring system.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of his quotes and comments were pretty similar.
Yeah, that was what I often think with the scoring. It's very subjective, and on the day, and what have you had before it, and
how you
what did you have for
feeling?
your dinner might even influence it. If you had a particularly salty dinner, you might be put off by a very savoury whiskey, whereas if you had something a bit lighter, you might be looking for that kind of savoury. These kind of influences that you don't think about might come in.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's something we could definitely look at doing in this new year of 2021, which will hopefully be much nicer than 2020.
Hopefully, but we've got many ideas, promises as
whisk ideas.
You'll hear probably in the next podcast. But we've got whiskey ideas to develop maybe some other
branch out a little bit.
Different podcasts that aren't quite just by the books drinking a Dram Team box. Not that we'll stop the Dram Team boxes because we did get shouted out by Chris when we were drinking this, and it feels like it would be a bit of a.
Also, we just really like the boxes.
Yeah, but it'd be a bit of a snake move to be like, oh yeah, you told everyone that if you're not doing a tasting, then they should come and listen to us, and then we just stop doing your boxes. That would be probably the snakiest move anyone had ever.
That's why you get your contracts in writing.
Yeah. Hopefully, as well, we maybe do this. We'll maybe have occasional ones that are like this again, where we'll be in the chat for the live tastings, and then we'll revisit.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully, we're sort of getting through our backlog of whiskey, so hopefully they'll be more timely in the future if we do ones like this.
And we certainly recommend checking out Nonsense Whisky.
Yes.
And coming along to any of Vin uploads very regularly, so definitely check out his videos. I mean, if you're on us, you've probably been to him. He's a lot bigger than us, but
he's definitely professional.
Yes, us. And if you've got, if you do the Dram Team boxes, definitely worth going along to the streams. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, although it might make you undervalue a Tamnavulin. So.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I think that's covered what we set out to do. It's been an interesting experiment.
Barely any rambles this week as well. We had a lot to get through, so.
Yeah, we were as always, very professional, very taut.
Yes.
Yeah, Lauren would be proud.
Concise.
Exactly. So as always, thank you for listening.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.